Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Zero to 60, and today is the day we get the M54 out of the wrecked E90 that I've had for a little while. So basically, plan of attack, we're going to jack the back of the car up. We have Mark, who's got his wrecking E90 uniform on, same as me, and yeah, he's going to help me go through it. It's almost like you want to grab some of the parts out of it, isn't it, Mark?
No, definitely not.
Anyway, we're going to get the back jacked up first and try and get the exhaust out of the way, get the tail shaft disconnected, and then we'll work on getting this front all pulled apart as well. All right, we're not going to mess around, we're just going to get straight into it. Okay guys, I thought I'd give an update because this is the dodgiest thing I've ever done. Wouldn't recommend anyone ever try this at home. If I die, at least it'll be on camera. But we'll try to get the car up as high as we can. We've got it stacked on, that's 8 wheels. One thing I didn't do, now these wheels have been sitting outside for ages, the tyres are not pumped up. So as the weights come on, they've twisted a bit like this, because obviously the weight of the car is not dead center in the tyre. But really I just wanted something to support the car solidly while we're underneath it, and to be fair, you can't rock it. What you thinking about, dude? I think I'd rather that than jack stands.
Pretty solid.
And if we're on concrete, we'd be using jack stands for this. But yeah, that's okay. That's pretty good. All right, so we can get underneath it now. Now, let's have a quick look at what we've got to undo. So we're gonna have to. The aim is to undo the drive shaft from the back of the gearbox there, but to get to that drive shaft we've got to get this heat shield off, which is all one piece, and so that means we're gonna have to get the exhaust out the way, this out the way, all the trims, okay, which is all pretty straightforward. I'm gonna crack on with that. Well, I thought I'd give you an update because the sun's come back out, and for the last 45 minutes it's been sort of spitting with rain. The reason I was really concerned, if we get heavy rain here, we won't be able to move the engine crane on the dirt, and it will just make moving this thing a hell of a lot worse. So we've been smashing at it. Mark did leave about 15 minutes ago. He's removed the radiator, AC condenser, power steering cooler, everything that's on the front of the engine, and I have changed my plan with what I was originally going to do underneath, because to save a bit of time and pulling all the exhaust off, I was able to get to the 3 tail shaft bolts here, and I actually I could get to the I don't know if you guys can see it, I could get to this one and that one there pretty easy, get to the nut on the other side, but to get to the one right at the top I ended up sliding a breaker bar up beside the gearbox, slotted it onto the nut, and it actually didn't take too long to come off, so that's brilliant. Also, original plan was to drop the subframe. As you can see, the subframe is still all connected, and because it's all bent, it was actually going to be a bit of a mission to undo the subframe, so I've managed to undo the bottom of the engine mounts on both sides. Sorry, on the driver's side. On the passenger side we had access to the top of the engine mount, so the engine is actually no longer properly bolted to the car. I've just cut the fuel line, and I'm going to drain the fuel tank into this drum as well. Some fuel for the mower, but yeah, all the main stuff is completely disconnected. Downpipes come off really easy. I've removed the lower rear O2 sensor just to avoid it getting damaged, but yeah, it's getting pretty close to being ready to pull out. The only thing that we are left to do is all the wiring. Now Mark is a massive nerd, and he's got quite a few, well, he's got a massive interest in BMWs. He's asked me to not cut any of the harness because he wants to use it for something. So we're going to basically just disconnect all of these plugs. The O2s can stay connected. It's really just going to be this run along here for the coil packs, which connects to these sensors. Yeah, okay, I'm going to get straight onto that. Then we'll just pick it up. It should just come straight out.
Pressure's off now, sun's coming out.
Yeah, man, I was really worried with the rain. This ground just turns to like slop straight away. Anyway, I'll get all the wiring undone and we'll film the exciting part as it extracts from the E90. All right guys, so we have the DME box emptied. I've actually got the DME over there, but removed all the engine wiring over with the engine. Now I'm probably going to use the wiring from my harness just so I know it's all good, but it'll be much easier to swap once it's down and we can undo all the connectors, check and clean everything before it goes back in the car. Separating the wiring was pretty easy. That grey DME connector there was the only one that had to be removed from this little harness on the DME. So that's all separated. We've undone the starter motor wiring. Now that will probably be different if you are a left-hand drive vehicle. But aside from that, AC lines are disconnected. I think power steering's off, all the coolant lines are off. It's probably a 50-50 chance we've got this right. No, it's a 0 chance.
I'm sure once we pull it out a little bit, there'll be some of the lines a bit further down that we've missed.
Yeah, so the plan is lift the engine up off the engine mount studs. So it's probably gonna have to come up about 1 inch, and then we should be able to start to drag it forwards. We've got about 6 inches before the gearbox will fall off of the gearbox mount at the back. The main gearbox mounts are disconnected, but it will slide along the gearbox support, in theory. So by the time we got it forwards a little bit, we'll get another strap onto it, or reposition the straps so that we can sort of balance this as it pulls out.
Nice new engine crane.
Expensive one, not. Mark maybe get that. All right, let's have a crack, Dave. All right, guys, so we've lifted it up about 1 inch, and the engine is just wedged in the car. So obviously the impact is squashing everything. Hopefully you can see down in there. So we're probably up about 2 inches just on that engine mount, but that engine mount is crimped into place. So
I don't know if the camera's seen it, but the whole subframe and even the power steering rack is literally shattered from the impact. So it's like the
everything's
rails are
squeezed in
the engine.
It's all right. It just takes some finessing. What does make it worse, because we're on dirt, we dig in with the engine crane. All right,
that's solid.
Let's have a rethink. This is way too big. We got fine.
Give it a crack a little bit. Okay, that's hitting the steering column. That's on the column now. This side way. I think it must be pulling the engine out all the time and then jamming the mount into. Okay. Yeah, just that big. The gearbox is coming off. I can feel it. It's coming off quickly. However, we've still got. Yeah, no, gearbox is off. Cool. Like that's it.
Like it's hanging down?
Yeah.
Oh, sick. That might make it easier to get this off. All right, guys, we're getting closer. Now, what's caused all the issue is because this side of the car, chassis rail, whatever you want to call it, is about 4 inches further that way, we couldn't get to the top mount on the engine mount. Hopefully you guys can see, but I'm hoping now we've undone the steering rack from the rail, and I'm hoping this will just let me get on there. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands, and I'm worried about losing a finger. Anyway, I think once we can get the top nut off of that engine mount, that should give us the clearance to actually pull forwards around the steering column. Okay, so lots of wiggling because of all the damage on the driver's side. We're getting close to it coming out, as you can probably see. We're going to try and pull it a bit further forwards. The gearbox was on the jack, but we've got a little bit more movement. Unfortunately, we don't have a proper balancing thing for the engine crane, so this could slide and kill us at any time. Wish us luck. Go baby steps. Harry? Hang on. We are dug in the ground.
Alright, the right wheels come backwards. Now if we do the same. Oh, it's catching again. Downpipe's catching again. She's catching on. The steering column. So, gearbox is twisting into the tunnel as well, like really hard. Like that, you see it ripping the.
Yeah. That's probably the way. Oh, we've got it. Is it this? Are we twisting the end? we can deal with that. Actually, where's that wood? That wood? I'll put that in here. And the flange is in another heat shield hole. That's it. So maybe we can go up. Yep, it's coming fast. Yep, she's nearly free. Just make sure your hands are, just in case it doesn't pivot. Woo! Alright. That heavy? It's, yeah, I don't want to carry it over that. We could just go up a bit, as long as it doesn't completely slide. I don't think it's going to. This is horrifically terrifying. Bang! Okay. Let me come by. I think that'll come out. You stay this time. That's it. I'm just going to go a little bit higher. Yep. Okay. God dang it. Alright, and I think we slide this back a bit now.
Just in time.
Marcus.
Sorry, in the way.
Whoa. Now go down a bit, I think, Dave. And actually, as we go down, we want to come further. Yes. Easy. That's pushing that.
It's still hanging on the car, see?
Yeah, it's gonna, no. I want to get it level there.
Oh, okay.
And we'll redo the sling so it's a bit more safe.
Well, it'll have to come fully past to take all the tension off.
Well, we can literally just lower it all the way down to the ground now and it can sit up on the car.
While that's up there.
Yeah, you reckon? Yeah, repositions.
I reckon it might drop off.
I was expecting that to happen.
Hang on.
Oh,
I'll just spin the camera around just so people can see the action. There you go. I have watched a lot. I am YouTube qualified. This is perfectly fine. Hey, the engine's out.
That was easy.
it took you guys so long. I
Well,
thought it'd be up on time
You
of the back.
plug it off, didn't you? You missed all the hard work.
Oh,
It turns out that this is about maybe 6 inches in.
Look at all the scrape marks.
Everything's just been mangled.
oh wow.
Actually, yeah, I'll show these guys. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is why it took much longer than expected. All of this is right in. So, oh, look, subframe's completely cracked. So there literally wasn't enough room for it to come out.
Probably one of the biggest issues was actually the downpipe flange hitting on that tiny
Just
thing
catching
there.
on that.
You couldn't get it past. You could not get it past.
And unfortunately, downpipes, that's how much the downpipes were smashed in. But I'll tell you what, apart from the crash damage, it looks pretty clean.
I reckon your sump's going to have some damage on it.
Well, I can use the sump from the other one.
Yeah.
One thing that we couldn't tell, and I couldn't see this when I ran the engine, the rocker cover's actually smashed. So hopefully not too much exciting shit got down in the rocker cover. Boost was broken.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it's all right. Okay, so this is quite a long take. We're going to get this in the van and then try and get it up in the shed, which we might give it degrease while it's out. All right, guys, I think that can end the video off here, can't it?
Yeah, we'll give it a clean, tidy up here, and then you start stripping it down.
That's it. Hey, guys, any tips on things you reckon I should check? Basically, from this point, I'm going to take the sump off, the rocker cover off, probably do a compression test.
Definitely.
Which I should be able to wire up and do. But yeah, anything you think I should check throughout this week? Unfortunately, somebody's S62 still on the hoist, waiting for FCP parts. But as soon as that S62 M5 is off the hoist, I'll get my car in and we can actually get this engine in my car. So hopefully, in a week or two, I'll be driving again.
Optimistic, but I like it.
No. Well, guys, look, thank you very much for watching. I'm glad we got this out, or else This car's probably going to sit here for another 6 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Look at how bent everything is, man.
That's just like an inch thick sway bar.
That's nowhere near where it should be.
Yeah, you couldn't tell how damaged it was, which is normally the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, guys, we'll lay that off. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks, Mark, for your help. Thanks, Dave.
Peace.